So the 90s were a magical time. Pre-internet age, and we had a lot of cool shit, a lot of cool toys. And just felt like everybody could afford, rent and gas. The best thing about the 90s, my favorite thing about the 90s, was the cartoons. And fuck, did we have a lot of them. I'm gonna review my personal top 10 favorites. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are not included because I believe they came out in the 80s. Late 80s. But here are my top 10. My list is not in order, mind you. These are not my exact favorites, numbered 1 through 10 or anything. These are just 10 of my top favorites, and yeah, I'm gonna rewatch all these as an adult, and I'll actually review those individually. So subscribe to the channel if you guys want to catch those. Starting with SpiderMan, the animated series. It aired on Fox Kids and then later on Kids WB, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, if you guys don't know who fucking Spider-Man is, he's a superhero. He lives in New York, bit by a radioactive spider. But the magic of this show is that it was a lot like a comic book in that they told you what he was thinking. He was constantly saying like, "Oh, Aunt May this, Mary Jane that," and you knew what the fuck he was saying, just like in the comic books. Another cartoon that I really loved as a kid and really influenced my sense of comedy, that along with Seinfeld, was the Animaniacs. And don't make me sing the song, because I'll sing it from beginning to end, motherfuckers. But yeah, this show was fucking ahead of its time. How it is not more referenced in pop culture, I have no fucking clue. This show was fucking hilarious. And Yakko was fucking sarcastic. Wacko was, well, wacky and did wacky funny shit. And Dot was, yeah, she was sarcastic and wacky. And a girl that liked dudes openly. Just really fucking feminist, if you ask me. And fucking show was ahead of its time, bruh. Completely ahead of its time, and it should get more mentions. And I will do a review on it, so fucking stay tuned. Next on my list is dun, 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 dun. Fucking Gargoyles. This show was fucking amazing. Now, I am gonna rewatch it for fucking... No, fuck that, man. This show was amazing. This show is just so dark, and the depth with the characters, characters that are misplaced, which is basically the same thing as Captain America. Captain America's in the same century. These motherfuckers went 1,000 years. 1,000 years ago, there was a war, and they used to guard this castle. They're gargoyles. They're these creatures that, during the daytime, they turn into stone, and at nighttime, they come alive. They break out of the stone, and are basically... super strong, and they can fly. They've got wings. I know you motherfuckers know what a gargoyle looks like. Because of a spell, a magical spell, they are petrified for 1,000 years, and the only way to break the spell is for their castle, which they guarded, to rise above the clouds. And in the 90s, some rich guy named Xanatos, which is basically an evil Iron Man, took their castle, rebuilt it on top of a tower in New York, which would not be legal to do. I don't think so. I guess money, right? Donald Trump, right? He broke the spell. They come to life, and now they have to live in New York City in the 90s, being creatures that were thought to be myth for thousands of years. So yeah, fucking show was awesome, though. Oh God. Moving along and keeping it on this action side, we have XMen, the animated series, which is fucking amazing. The character development. I've recently watched it, and my review is on this channel, or will be on this channel next week. And it is fucking amazing show. An amazing show, and it's worth all the praise, man. It's worth all the praise. The character development, the villains. Yeah, man. Just fucking go out and watch the X-Men. So next up, we have Life with Louie. I don't know if you guys have even heard of this show. It used to come on Fox Kids, I believe. Or maybe Kids W. I get those two mixed up a lot, so you guys bear with me. But Life with Louie, man, is just the comedian, Louie Anderson. He had a cartoon show relating his life and stuff like that. But I remember it just being really heartfelt. The comedy really hit. It was very situational, kind of like Seinfeld in a way. But since it was a cartoon, obviously it was a bit different. But yeah, man, the show had a lot of heart. And you didn't see a lot of things about fat kids back then, like a fat kid's life. Next up, we have Batman, the animated series. And you guys probably all knew it was going to be on this list, but rightfully so. that show was years ahead of its time. It laid the groundwork for the animated universe. Justice League, Unlimited, Superman show, and yeah, Static Shock, Batman Beyond, the whole fucking world. And it gave us Harley Quinn. It gave us an updated version of Mr. Freeze's backstory. It was really cool, and yeah, man, the animation was really, really beautiful. It was, I believe it was done on some kind of charcoal kind of paper. They gave it that kind of dark texture, and it was a crime noir, and it was drawn fucking deco style buildings. My next show that I'm gonna review later on will be Mighty Max. You guys might have not heard about this show, but basically it's about a kid who, in modern day life, and he's like the chosen one, and basically a giant owl. Yeah, you heard right. An owl named Virgil. He wears like a robe. He's like a sage character. And his homeboy Norman, which is like a warrior character. He casts a sword and like a metal armored arm. It's really cool. And yeah, they come and meet him and they tell him, hey, you're the chosen one. You're supposed to be wielding this hat. Now, it sounds weird, but it was like a portal opening hat. It's a hat that can open portals to just different places in the world. And it's just like the hat is like a reincarnation of an ancient magical helmet. And they're from this lost world called Lemuria, which in classical shit is like almost like Atlantis. It's like another Atlantis, the Atlantis that you didn't hear about, but it really existed in mythology. So they're from Lemuria, and they come get him, and adventures ensue. They have a villain. His face looks like a skull. Pretty cool. And he has a henchman called Wamanga. And I just like saying that. Wamanga. Up next is my next beer. Milky Beer Man. Oh, que rico. Put my phone away. What's wrong with my phone? Moving along. For more of the late 90s comedy, I got Recess. Recess was so lit, y'all. It was so lit. It was basically like a lot of adult issues put in like this microcosm of a child's world, which was the playground. And your little crew, kind of reminding you of a lot of shit you did as a kid. Run around, causing trouble, solving problems. But yeah, man, fucking the whole ragtag team, TJ Deadweiler, Vince LaSalle, Gus Griswold, Spinelli, Ashley Spinelli, Gretchen Grundler, Mikey Blumberg. Well, you gotta give the fat guy the name Blumberg. Sounds fat. If you guys like knockoff versions of Batman, and God knows we all do, you got Darkwing Duck, which is basically the Disney's world of, like Donald Duck, and, they had Scrooge McDuck. Well, Darkwing Duck is one of them. His name is Drake, not bitch ass Drake, but Drake Millard. Not started from the bottom, now we're here. Not that Drake. Drake Millard. And he's basically Batman. He's got his little helper, I forget her name. And he's got another sidekick. He's like a airplane pilot. And yeah, they get into adventures. It was really cool. I just remember thinking it was like a lighter version of Batman. Lastly, there is Beast Wars. Now, this one's a little controversial because it was like that weird 3D animation, and it doesn't fit in with the rest of the cartoons that I mentioned. But fuck it, man. It was cool as shit. It's basically the Transformers, but is the time after the regular Transformers, and they have some kind of space accident, and it shoots them back into the past before the time of humans, and they land on Earth, and the Transformers take the shapes of animals instead of vehicles. The Autobots are called the Maximals, the Decepticons are called the Predacons, and they take the shapes of animals. There's an ape, a rhino, a bee, a rat, cheetah, a Tyrannosaurus, Velociraptor. You guys get the idea. Tarantula. And yeah, man, it was fucking cool. It was just like an ongoing little soap opera, but with fucking action and robots turning into animals. So what the fuck is there not to like about that? That was my list of my top 10 favorite cartoons in the 90s. I do have other cartoons that I really, really like that I hope I will get to do in the future, such as Street Sharks, which was kind of trash, but dude, they had awesome vehicles, man. They had the fucking helicopter thing. Anyway, let me know what was your favorite 90s show growing up as a kid. Leave a comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. And yeah, I will be doing videos on each one of these individual shows. So look out monthly for one of those videos. And yeah, you guys have a good one. Hacer el hambre que se pasó en Cuba. Chico, el hambre que se pasó. En los 90, cuando este tipo estaba mirando de que el Gargoyles, de que Darwin Dog, la cosa que. Chico, el hambre que pasamos en Cuba. Acabaron con los gatos. No había gato en Cuba.